The things that Kanye's got going on right now, would you call Kanye insane or sane?
I know he definitely has a lot of I've heard he has some mental illness things going on, so it's really a pity that he's also a public figure dealing with this. But right now, what he's saying sounds more on the insane side, I guess.
Okay, so you say more insane. How do you feel about the free speech aspect of it all?
It's true that you do have your right to free speech, but that doesn't mean people aren't also allowed to say, hey, what you're saying is wrong. You're allowed to say what you want to say, but people are also allowed to say, just because you're allowed to say it doesn't mean it's okay for you to say it. Legally you're protected, but socially that's still f***ed up for you to say some things.
Okay, I agree with that. Just because you have free speech doesn't mean that people also have the free right to have their opinion about your free speech.
Yeah.
And regarding his comments, I don't agree with it.
You don't agree with none of his comments?
I don't agree with his anti-Semitic comments.
Oh, okay. So you're reaching more towards insane? Or you would just say he's sane, but you don't agree with his comments?
I don't know the guy personally, if he's sane or not, but I just know his comments doesn't reflect on a person who's sane, if that makes sense.
Oh, okay. I get what you're saying, brother. Yeah, I can totally feel you, man. I would say that.
I know him personally, so I can't be like. Yeah.
Well, based on what we see, you know what I mean. I feel like Kanye is really pushing the issue on a lot of free speech. You know, and I believe that we should have free speech. You know what I mean? I may disagree with something you say, you may disagree with something I say, but at the end of the day, I respect you. I respect your free speech.
Yeah, but the free speech. If I act like racist toward you, do you accept my free speech? You wouldn't. So
It would upset me, but I would have to accept it because, you know, we're in America, we're in the land of free speech. I wouldn't agree with your racist comments, but I would have to accept it.
Yeah, but the First Amendment is, it's sure it's free speech, but it doesn't mean free speech without consequences. So if I act like racist, I would be I would never get a job. People would hate me. I could never so.
And that's why he's being canceled from a lot of different things. A lot of different sponsors are dropping him, like Adidas, Balenciaga, Gap. They're all dropping him because of different things that he's saying. So yeah, we do have free speech, but we do have consequences based on our free speech as well.
Yeah.
And the Second Amendment is why we have the First Amendment. I mean, we have the First Amendment, so we have the Second Amendment.
Sane is whenever he's okay. I feel like he's human, just like every single one of us.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he needs help.
Okay.
Because I know when he's doing music and stuff, he's a genius. But everything else, I'm you're a horrible person. I think you need some actual help.
I would say about Kanye, you know, a lot of things that he may say, people may take out of context, because a lot of times if you dig deep, you know what I mean, you may find a couple different things that he's saying that may be true. You know what I mean? And there is some things that you may cross the line on, but we're all human. You know what I mean? We all cross the line sometimes, you know what I mean? And sometimes, but different people like that, you know, different people who are stars, you'll see every time they cross the line. You know what I mean? So a lot of rocks are thrown at them when they do whatever.
I wouldn't say insane, but I feel like there's a slight sanity. But I do feel like in regard to Kanye, he definitely just needs to get help and have the issues that are ongoing addressed, and just really need to be able to reach out and like I said, just get help and just yeah.
So you would say he needs help pretty much?
Yeah. He's
crossing some lines, you're saying?
Yeah. So I also think that when he's crossing the lines, you do have no accountability, even though you are maybe feeling you're not necessarily sane or whatever, you still do have to take accountability for your actions and just get help along the way if you feel like that's something that's interfering.
Okay, I got you, I understand. How do you feel?
Well, I feel like Kanye West knows what he wants to say. He just has a terrible way of presenting the information. Because if you listen to what he's saying, it sounds terrible, but if you dig in deeper to what he's saying, you can find some truths to what he's saying. So obviously the presentation is terrible. The thing he said about Hitler, it's I don't know why he would frame it that way, but he was basically saying there's good aspects of all people, but he's not saying that Hitler was a good person at all in regards, but he's saying he probably was a good leader. That don't mean he was a good person, because there's a lot of niggas that was a good leader. Oh my bad, I didn't mean to curse. Just like Genghis Khan, he was a terrible person, but he controlled almost all of that region. So he was a good leader, but he wasn't a good person. So I feel like Kanye is not insane. He just needs better people to help him frame things better.
So you're saying he says a lot of things out of context?
Yeah, I would say he says a lot of things out of context.
Okay, I can see exactly where you're coming from, bro, for sure. Cause yeah, there's different things. If you actually dig it up, then it's like, okay, he was saying something, you know. But the way he put it, or the sentence he put it in, you know, it's like, okay, it was a little out there.
A little bit insane, but I mean, he's in an environment where crazy sometimes gets you more attention. So I guess, you know, he's doing what he thinks is like best for him.
I think it's a little bit of both, man. A big issue is, of course, there's some things he said that have been misconstrued, but the whole it's the interview he had on, was it Fake News? Was that the one he had with Alex Jones?
Right.
The whole "I love Hitler" comment.
Right.
That was pretty out of pocket.
Right. Okay, so you say like both, sane and crazy about Kanye.
A bunch of his other stuff in terms of, it's like the same stuff with who's the other athlete? Kyrie Irving.
Right.
I haven't looked enough into the actual book to know what actual information is in there, but from the way that it's been portrayed by the media, it seems very anti-Semitic. But again, that's the way it's been portrayed by the media. The only thing I have a concrete opinion on is the "I love Hitler" thing by Kanye. That was pretty wrong.
Okay, so you pretty much, you look into things before you judge them.
Yes.
Yeah, that's insane.
Insane? Kanye situation?
Yeah.
Why?
Because, you know, like, I feel like he needs help right now.
Okay.
Because instead of, like, everybody, something like that, right? He's just kind of, like, ill right now. And so people just, instead of, like, hurting him, right, people got to actually look out for him. Because he's just a mentally ill person right now. And, you know, I just kind of feel that sometimes, right? Because, like, if you're mentally ill, but everybody, like, keeps on attacking you because they don't understand you, then it kind of hurts sometimes.
So you feel like he's not understood?
Well, it's not that he's understood. Like, I wouldn't agree with him at all, right? He's saying wrong things, but you should be much more understanding of where he's coming from, right? As a mentally ill person.
I feel like he's definitely I feel like there was a line and he's crossed it. At least before, like, made a lot of sense. I know he was talking about like if you see one person like running, you might think they're crazy, but if you see like 200 people, then it's a marathon, right? He has certain opinions where it like encourages like thinking differently and just embracing your thinking, but then it gets to a point where everyone can just generally accept that you're like wrong. Like, how can you say that you like Hitler? Like, there's nothing that Hitler has done that can make you say that and still feel like that's an opinion, a good opinion to have. So I feel like he's definitely crossed the line. Like, I think he's far gone. It's unfortunate because I love Kanye, a lot of people love Kanye, but like...
So you would pretty much say like I'll ask somebody over there, it's kind of like both. Because, you know, some things he says is like way out of order, and some things he says is like, okay, yeah, he's on point. You know, he may take things out of context a little bit, but a lot of times, you know, it's just like, if you put it in the right context, he's on point. That's what you're pretty much saying.
Yeah, some of the things he says, but then a lot of the recent opinions that he's had.
You feel like he's going a little too far at this point.
Yeah. And I feel like it's like, come on, bro. Like, look at you're such an amazing person. Like, you make amazing music. You're a genius. Like, you shouldn't this shouldn't happen. Now he's gonna get canceled, and then no more Kanye music. Like, I don't know. It's really sad.
I don't know, man. I don't know if they're gonna cancel. I don't know if they're gonna cancel Ye. His music is it just. I don't know, like it got like 3 million sales within like 10 minutes the other day. You know what I mean? It seems like the crazier it gets, the more attention it gets, to be honest.
Yeah, really. I think his fans, like Kanye fans, are first of all, very loyal, very dedicated to him. So it's like they might see that what he's saying is, they might not agree, but they'll still support him. And I feel like that might be the reason why he won't get canceled.
Right. I mean, I feel like we all have free speech, you know what I mean? And when we try to take that away from somebody, at the end of the day, you can say something, I may not agree with your opinion, I can say something, you may not agree with my opinion. But at the end of the day, we all have free speech, you know what I mean? We have to respect that. We have to respect that with each other, you know, and they're trying to take a lot of that away nowadays. But as long as we have free speech, you know what I mean, we have to respect that. Whether we agree or not, we have to respect it, you know? You agree?
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like the freedom of speech and like even the ability to think is going to make people have different opinions. So the fact that, because I'm going to reason things a certain way, you might reason it a different way. But then I feel like there's things that generally should be accepted. Like, if you think of like situations like rape, there's no way someone can tell me that because I think like, oh, like it's gonna be like, it's okay in this sense. Like, so there's things that generally, like everyone generally accepts are wrong, like morally wrong. Yeah, exactly. Like some things you just can't like justify in that sense. So I feel like he's almost trying to use his like the ability of like individuality and like I'm able to think and have opinions on certain things, and it's like he's taking that and then taking it to the extreme.
They calling me controversial. They calling me controversial. They calling me controversial. They calling me controversial.